If you're reading this, we never came back. God, I hope we're wrong about what's happening down here under London. Someone needs to know. Now, you've heard the stories, I'm sure. You know, the abandoned tube stations, the ones sealed off after the Blitz. Shuttered like mausoleums under the streets. But the tourists love the ghost tours, and the drunks love to tell the tales about the phantom trains. But none of that scratches the truth. We thought we were clever, breaking into one. Just another night of urban exploring, flashlights, cameras, and a thrill of walking somewhere no one stepped in 80 years. But this place hasn't forgotten. It's waiting. The air, there's just something wrong about it. The escalators shouldn't work, but they hum like a heartbeat. And the trains, God, the trains! They keep coming back, like they know we're still here. I'm writing this now because I've decided what we have to do. When the next one arrives, we're getting on. I don't know what's going to happen after that. Maybe nothing. Let's just hope it's nothing bad. But if anyone ever finds this, if you found you made the same mistake we did, maybe this will help you find some answers. It started as a dare, really. One of our friends, Matt, he found an old service tunnel near Holborn, half covered with rusty grates and "Danger, keep out" signs. You know, the kind of place that looks like it hasn't been touched since the war. We thought we'd cool down, film for a few minutes of shaky flashlight footage, and come back out laughing about asbestos and tetanus shots. Just another notch on our list of abandoned places. But the deeper we went, the less it felt like exploring, and the more it felt like trespassing into something that still belonged to someone. Or something. The air was stale and metallic, with the faint vibration in the walls, like a memory of movement. We joked about it being ghosts of trains, but no one laughed for long. Then we found the escalators. Still running. Still humming. 80 years of dust on those steps, and yet they moved as if they'd never stopped. Like they'd been waiting for us. Strange things. They both travelled in the same direction. Down. The platform looked dead at first. The tile was cracked and falling in sheets. Benches rotted, and dust was so thick our boots left deep trails. We should have been silent, but then we heard it. It was faint at first, like a low growl in the dark. The sound of a train. It made no sense. These tunnels had been sealed since the Blitz. There was no live tracks, no power. Yet the rails beneath our feet trembled, as if something heavy was bearing down on them. We stood there frozen, lights darting towards the black tunnel's mouth. The noise swelled, metal grinding against metal, and then it appeared. Headlamps blooming in the dark. An old underground train screeching in the station. Sparks spitting from its wheels. Its windows were blacked out, not tinted but opaque, like slabs of stone. The brakes screamed. The doors hissed open. No one got out. The empty carriages yawned before us, lit with a sickly yellow glow. Inside the seats seemed damp, glistening in the flickering of failing lights. We didn't move. We couldn't. None of us even breathed. And after a minute, the doors shut again, hard and final. The train pulled away, swallowed by the dark. The platform felt silent again. Little too silent. Matt muttered. Maintenance run, maybe? But his voice shook. We all knew better. After the train left, we stood there in silence for a long time. No one wanted to admit what we'd just seen. A maintenance run, that was the excuse we clung to. Some relic of the system still half alive making its rounds. But even saying it out loud felt thin, so we decided to head back up. Enough was enough. The escalators were still running, humming in their endless climb towards the surface. The steps rattled like teeth chattering in the dark. I went first. My boots clanged on the metal, echoing up the shaft. I walked fast, then faster, then I broke into a run. And the escalator kept pace with me. It wasn't looping, it wasn't broken, it was matching me. No matter how hard I pushed, the top never came. The machinery beneath me screamed louder, keeping me pinned in place like an insect on a pin. Matt tried next. Same thing. He sprinted until he collapsed, gasping, but the steps just carried his exhausted body back down. The others tried as well, jumping steps, scrambling up the sides, but nothing worked. The escalator adjusted, always keeping us here. That's when the truth began to sink in. We weren't stuck in a dead station. The station wanted us here. Back at the bottom of the escalator, we regrouped, shaken, our excuses running thin. No one wanted to say it, but we all felt the same thing. We weren't trapped by machinery. We were definitely being kept here. The silence pressed against our ears, too heavy, too complete. Then the silence was broken. At first, it was faint, like an old tannoy system, sputtering to life. A voice, garbled, broken with static.
Air raid. Proceed to shelter. Keep calm.
The words echoed down the tunnel, bouncing off the tiled walls until it sounded like dozens of voices overlapping. And then a coughing started, a crying, a baby's wail, sharp and panicked. The sounds of people hiding from falling bombs, crammed together in fear. We swung our flashlights across the benches. That's when I saw them, shapes, sitting, still as stone. At first I thought they were mannequins, part of the station's history, maybe some forgotten museum piece, but they weren't. They were wrong. They sat in silence, hands folded in their laps, all facing the tunnel, all waiting. And just as I realised they weren't looking at us, the rails began to hum again. The hum on the tracks grew louder, and we knew what was coming before the headlamps even pierced the tunnel. The train screeched into the station again, the same as before, black windows, yellow glow, doors yawning open like a wound. No one stepped out. No one ever would. We scrambled back against the tiled walls, trying to melt into the shadows. No one dared breathe too loud, terrified the thing would notice them. The air was thick with the stench of wet metal and ozone, like lightning had struck the underground. The shadows on the benches didn't move, but they shifted. Every time the doors opened, they seemed closer to the platform edge, still faceless, still waiting. The train sat longer this time, as if it was aware of us cowering there. The lights inside flickered. There was buzzing, spilling sickly light into the tiles. And then, just as suddenly, the doors sealed with a snap, and the train pulled away into the darkness. We didn't speak until the sound of its wheels was gone. Then Matt checked his watch, whispering under his breath. 30 minutes, exactly. The same train, the same screech, the same doors opening. It had a rhythm now. It was on a schedule. Every half an hour, the platform filled with that roar of steel and that hiss of doors, always empty, always waiting. And with each arrival, the figures on the benches seemed a little less patient. We waited, frozen on that platform, counting the minutes between the rails trembling. Every 30 minutes the train came, every 30 minutes we hid. Every 30 minutes the shadows on the benches leaned forward a little more. We tried everything to escape, the escalator still humming, still keeping pace no matter how fast we ran. Scrambling up the sides, jumping steps, anything. Nothing worked. The station wouldn't let us go. Panic twisted into a grim understanding. There were only two choices. Stay and take our chances. Would the shadows claim us? Or do we go onto the train and hope it led somewhere? Anywhere but here. I can still hear our voices arguing. Matt was shaking. We can't go. We don't know where it goes. But every instinct told us the station wasn't just abandoned. It was alive still. Watching and waiting. And the longer we stayed, the closer those faceless shapes got. Finally we accepted it. We had no choice. The next time the train rumbled towards the platform, we didn't hide. we stepped forward and we got on. I'm writing this now because once we step on the train, none of us may come back. If anyone finds this, if the escalators still hum beneath your feet and the tracks start to shake, please understand what we're leaving behind. The platform is not empty. It never was. The shadows are waiting. The station remembers. And the train, it always comes back. We're leaving this note wedged into the cracked tiles of the bench, not for ourselves, but for anyone else who might wander down here someday. Whoever finds it, heed the warning. Heed it well. The train is not a ride. The station is not safe. When the train returns, we are going to take our chances, and we have no other options. If you find this, then you have stepped into the same haunting trap we have fallen prey to. I hope this note provides you some help in finding an escape. We can hear the train coming. Our choice has been made. Good luck, my friend. Safe travel.
Thank you for staying with us until the very end. If you enjoyed the story, please give this video a like. It helps the shadows gather and the whispers spread. Drop a comment below and tell me what country you're watching from. I'd love to know where our watchers dwell. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're striving to bring the cult together, and our first 100 subscribers are the beginning of something extraordinary. And remember, the cult loves you.